Alrighty. Welcome. It's June 5th, 2015, and you're here with me on my first show, the Super Organized Universe Radio. I'm so excited. I'm James Lott Jr., the Super Organizer. Thank you for coming. I just want to start out by saying a little shout out to my engineer who'll be with me through this whole journey. Brian, good morning. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Good morning.
That's fine. I just want to say hi to you because you're here. Going to be here with through this whole thing.
Just staring at you through the glass.
Through the glass. I like being looked at, so it's going to be good. Everyone, welcome. And I actually want to start off kind of giving some shout outs. I like to live in gratitude, and I like to thank people. I think it's very important. And I want to start out because this is a dream realized for me. And I want to thank first my parents, Miss Benita and Mr. Moses. They support me in so many different ways that it's not even... I can't even name everything, but they support me so much the last 6 years that it's been amazing. Thank you. I love you guys. My housemate and my brother in artistry and writing, J.R. Lamar, he actually gives me such great ideas. So I wanted to give a little shout out to him and thank him. To my Aunt Faith, who actually, because of her, I have a business. Because she gave me the seeds to start it. So I kind of want to thank her. The last 5-6 years, she's given me such great advice, and I just want to say thanks to her. And, of course, to all my family and friends, because without you guys, I am nothing. It does take a village to raise me. It's kind of crazy. So I want to thank all of you guys for, just all the love and support. And, I do 10 million things, and you guys all try to follow them. I know it's not easy. And then, of course, this is last, but not really last, the other organizing professionals that are out there that once I announced I was doing this show, they were so supportive and so wonderful and so encouraging. And thanks for all the shares and the likes and just, I really appreciate it. I love our industry. Our industry is such a vast and wonderful industry. We're doing stuff that's actually helping the world and helping people. And it's my passion, and I know it's yours also. And I hope to have many of you here on my show. And many of you have actually contacted me, so we're going to get you on here. And we're going to talk about what you're doing and what I'm doing. It's kind of fun. So I want to make sure I do that. I think it's very important. Also, I want to thank Adrenaline Radio for the opportunity for being on here. Again, like I said, it's a dream realized, and dreams can happen. So just keep working at it. Stay open to the universe. And when the door knocks of opportunity, answer it. That's what I did. Okay, so... I just want to talk about why I think you should be listening to me, of course. Oh, but actually before that, I actually wanted to tell you we have two guests today. I'm very excited. And one is here in studio, Lacretia, Lyon. She'll be on a little later. We'll talk to her. And then Elizabeth Greer Taylor, who's going to be calling in at the half-hour mark. I'm so excited having both of them here with me today. It's going to be very exciting. And we'll talk about them more. But yes, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and what it is that I do and how I came to organizing. And maybe you'll find some relation in some of the things I'm talking about in your own life. And it's almost kind of like, this is what James Lott Jr. did to change his life and become an organizer. Oops. I should first turn off my phone and make sure it is on silent. I should do my own service announcement, shouldn't I? On that one. There we go. Make sure both of them are done. Okay, let's see. 1 second. That's so funny. We're in 2015, right? Okay. So there we go. Now we're back. Okay, so the story starts about 7 years ago. I was in San Francisco working for an association and living with two roommates that I love to death. And but the job itself, I was done. Raise your hands out there if you ever had a job you should have been gone from like a year earlier or 6 months earlier or even 2 or 3 years earlier. Yes, I can see your hands through the computer. It means through the computer, the radio, I can see it. This job stopped serving me. And what I mean by that is that it wasn't fulfilling anymore and it wasn't fun. And one of the last kind of straws for me was that I actually... so what I used to do every morning is I get up in the morning, get ready, go on what they call BART, which is their wonderful subway system in San Francisco in the Bay Area Rapid Transit. And I'd ride in. It took like 5 minutes to get there, but I had to walk 8 blocks to the building. So with the 8 blocks to the building, every block was like agony for me. It was like my stomach started hurting. Like I get there, I would get coffee. And it was like, oh my God, I don't want to go to this building because I really wasn't happy there. And my stomach, usually they say, trust your gut. That's so true. My gut was screaming at me. It was like, oh, James, we don't want to go to work. But of course, you live in San Francisco, which is one of the most expensive cities living in the country. You got to go to work. I am an adult, and I know how to take care of some business. So I would go there, I would get my coffee, walk the 8 blocks, stomach's hurting, and then get to work. And you know what's really funny to me? I had this one pile. Okay, again, all of you guys can raise your hands if you had piles on your desk that never went down. Yeah. I had a pile that it was almost like a comedy skit. Like I felt like I was working on the pile, and then all of a sudden, it was like the same height. It was crazy. I could not believe it. I could never get it down. And so that was another indication it was time for me to go. Because I couldn't get any help, and it's a whole long story there. But so I'm in a job that I'm really not happy with. And I'm in a city where I love San Francisco. I was there 16 years. It will always be a home to me. So I don't want to say anything disparaging about San Francisco, but it's expensive to live, and the weather's a little harsh. For me, I'm a Southern California, Los Angeles, baby, and I was in fog all the time. Oh, I'm sorry. You did get 2 weeks of summer, and that was usually the end of October. No, that was the end of September, early October. That was it. So I was ready to come back to something that was a little more warmer and a little more fairer. So I was like, let's get back to LA. So I actually sat down. This is the part. This is the how-to part. This is what James Lott Jr. did to change his life. I sat down and got one of those pads of paper, and one with the lines in them, and I sat down and wrote down all the jobs I ever had. Now, mind you, I've had a lot of careers, and my bio and resume are on my website, superorganizer.com. I was in nursing, food service, hospitality, did tons of customer service. I mean, like from video stores to delis. I worked at a gym. I did merchandising. Actually, there was this one store called Designer Labels for Less. I don't know if they're not around anymore. I used to do their window displays and dress the mannequins. It was like kind of fun. I felt like what was her name, Rhoda from Mary Tyler Moore Show. I was like getting there trying to work it out. So yes, I did that, and then I worked in insurance, and I've done a lot of different jobs. And so I wrote down each job, each profession, and then I wrote down all the things I liked about each job, all the duties, and I listed them. And what was coming up for me, I kept looking at it, was like, oh, I like to organize. Oh, I like to file. Oh, I do like people. Oh, I like these kind of hours. It was really interesting. And it came up over and over again. And I would circle them, and I was like, oh. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, my parents needed some help with some stuff at their homes also. And so I had talked to her and said, my mom, Miss Benita, that I want to come back home. And so I kind of put together a plan of action to kind of help them out, what I would do. And that plan of action mixed with the other pad I had of paper, everything I like to do. It was all kind of coming together. So I did something that it's kind of ballsy to do back in 2008 when we were in a really bad financial crisis. I quit my job. I was making good money, but I was like, not all money is good money, as my grandmother used to always say. And so I quit my job, took my savings, left my roommates, left San Francisco, and came back to Los Angeles. And all this was happening around the time I was about to turn 40. So I feel like it was my good midlife crisis, not anything bad. So I came back to LA and started from scratch. And one of the things, and I mentioned my Aunt Faith, was really funny is that she saw my paper of ideas and what I like to do. And she was like, you have a business in here. Business? I never thought myself as an entrepreneur or a businessman of myself. I always thought you get a job, you stay with it for 30 years, you retire, and I travel to Bora Bora. I don't know. I never thought I would have like my own business. When she said it though, it clicked. And it really did feel natural. I'm like, yeah, business. I do have a business. And that's where the Super Organizer was born. And so up until that point, I was kind of doing some background acting and, little jobs here and there. But I talked to my mom about it, and actually she became my first client. And then, as many of you organizers know, word of mouth is everything. Well, actually, anybody out there. In a lot of professions, word of mouth is everything. It's who you know. And if they like you and say your name, it's very important. So my mom told a couple of friends, and then they hired me. And so I got to gain experience of what to do, what not to do, what I like to do. I got to work out that pad of paper, basically, in real life time. And then I started to actually advertise in places like Craigslist. And actually, at some point on the show here in the future, I have someone who's going to come on who's a former client, now a friend, he was my first Craigslist client. And it was just amazing that we're in our lives today still. And we'll talk about that when he comes on. His name is Jerry Katzman. It's going to be great. So, but anyway, so I started this business, and then I went to legal channels and actually made that a reality, and became an LLC. And the last 6 years have been great, and it just really stemmed from really loving what I do. I get to see people's lives transformed, and many of you organizers out there know what that feels like. When someone gets it, I'm changed also. It's not just them, it's me too. And it's such rewarding work. Like, to go back from what I was saying earlier, where I was doing a job where it was just unfulfilling and it's just mounds of paper. Now I'm taking that paper and I'm organizing it. See, turn it all around, bring it all back, right? But anyway, that's been great. And then over the years, I've modified and changed my business to where now I'm a certified life coach. I went to Coach Training Alliance, a great school. I'm going to give a shout out to my wonderful teacher, Lori Cameron. She was so good. The first chapter that you learn is called Coaching from Center. And because you need to know who you are, of course, before you can really coach anybody else, right? And that changed my life. Opening the book changed my life. And it was one of the best 10-month courses I ever took on anything. And so it's been very valuable to me. So I added life coaching to my life. And this is where we are today. And one of the things I've always wanted to do is have a radio show and talk about it. Also on the side, about a year and a half ago, I mentioned my brother J.L. Lamar. He actually got me started into blogging. And blogging has been one of the best things that's ever happened to me. And my blog is the superorganizeruniverse.com, hence the name. And every day I post tips and suggestions, and you can go there for all kinds of stuff that I find, things that I've learned. When you do organizing, you learn stuff every day. It's not just like, now I'm organized now and I'm done. You actually learn things as you're going through the process with your clients. And of course, I read up on everything. And on this show, I will share with you some of the things that I find, things I hear. I want you guys to be really informed on all things organizing. So that's why I'm here. And that's why I feel like you should listen to me every week on Fridays. Because I'm also fun. We're going to have a good time. Whatever you thought a professional organizing show would be, throw it out the window. It's not going to be whatever that is. And it's not going to be just a how-to show either. We're going to showcase people from all walks of life, because organizing actually affects all walks of life, right? Everybody needs organizing. Disorganization affects all walks of life. That's actually the most important part, is the disorganization. Because when you're disorganized, life is harder. It really is. Think about it. It really is much harder. So, and now one of the things I always get questions for, when I say I'm a professional organizer, folks don't know what that is. So what I try to tell people is a professional organizer is someone who helps you with the clutter and disorganization. So that's like the most basic thing. And now that could be anything: house, home, car, life. But people always think that I'm talking about like I do events, which I do sometimes, but like I'm an organizer for like a rally or something like that. It's not really it. But it's really for that. And it's just basically we're here to help you find the path of success through organizations and systems. And so there's all these organizers out there, professional organizers out there that have things to help you out with so that your life and your home and everything is, in order. So that's what a professional organizer is. And that's what I do. And that's why I'm the super organizer. Again, a name the other day, I was just trying to think, how did I come up with that name? I think it came to me in a dream. I think I was sitting there dreaming about superstars or something, and it came right to me. So, yeah, so very exciting. So I will be here every Friday to help you with organizing needs. So coming up in our next segment will be the wonderful comedian host, Lacretia, Lyon. I'm very excited for you guys to meet her. We're going to have a little chat, a little talk, and talk about all kinds of things, organizing and what she's doing. Thank you for joining us here on Super Organizer Universe Radio.
Like that. Like that.
Hey, neighbor, get some sod put in?
Yeah, it's Marathon.
Yeah, that's what I got. But yours looks so much greener and thicker than mine. What's going on? I'm going to call the growers.
Southland Sod Farms, may I help you?
My Marathon sod doesn't look as good as my neighbor's.
Are you sure yours is Marathon?
That's what I asked for.
Let me do a computer search. We don't have a record of your delivery. You didn't get genuine Marathon sod.
What do you mean?
Sometimes unscrupulous contractors, retailers, and other sod farms lead you to think they're selling Marathon, but then substitute a lesser brand.
That really teased me off. How could I have known I got a cheap imitation?
Look for the bold, genuine Marathon label on the sod pallets when they're delivered.
Don't get cheated. Look for the genuine Marathon sod logo displayed by nurseries and landscape contractors at the yellow pages. Or call 1-800-4MARATHON for a free do-it-yourself video and authorized dealer list. That's 1-800-4, then Marathon. Or visit the website at www.sod.com.
Hi, everyone. This is Chuck Harold with my co-host,
Paul Tally-ho Bristow.
from Security Guy Radio. Regard is a verb, not a noun. Every Monday night at 7 p.m., we challenge the conventional wisdom of the security industry with our plain talk experience, humorous stories, and answers from the top security experts in the field. Tune in each week for the latest security news, enlightening interviews, and a look at a featured security gadget or service.
Join us on the web at securityguyradio.com.
And listen every Monday night at 7 p.m. exclusively on AdrenalineRadio.com.
Tropicana Bakery and Cuban Cafe. Come and experience our sweet tradition of sweets, pastries, and incredibly delicious Cuban food. At Tropicana, we offer a bohemian, nostalgic-like atmosphere. In Spanish, we say, es la hora de tertulia de café, which is the moment of drinking coffee and having a great time with friends and family. At Tropicana Bakery and Cuban Cafe, we have an array of exquisite coffees. We have an array of desserts, of pastries, empanadas, sandwiches, and Cuban food. Come to Tropicana Bakery and be blown away by the Caribbean-like atmosphere and flavor profile. Tropicana Bakery and Cuban Cafe is located in the city of Downey. The address is 10218 Paramount Boulevard, virtually on the corner of Paramount and Florence.
At highway speeds, the average text takes your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds. That's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop texts. StopWrecks.org.
All right, and we are back. Back to Super Organizer Universe Radio. I'm James Lott Jr., Super Organizer. And I am joined by someone who I just think is really funny and a nice person. She is a comedian, and she is the host of one of the best titled web series I just feel on the web called Sports Without the Balls. Ladies and gentlemen, Lacretia Lyon.
Hi, James.
Hey, girl, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks for coming down.
All right.
For my first show. You're here with me.
All the way in Whittier.
In Whittier. Yeah, I love it. So what's really funny is I want to start out with your name, of course. When I had to my mom your first name, she knew exactly where it's from. Can you elaborate with that?
Well, most people assume with a name like Lacretia that one of my parents must be black,
Yes.
but it's actually an old name, and I am the whitest person you'll ever meet.
Yes, definitely.
But I'm actually named after Lacretia Borgia, the first female serial killer, so it's worse.
Yes,
Yeah.
my mother knew that actually because she realized, she's like, wow, they gave her that name. Mm-hmm. Do you ever use it in your comedy?
Actually, that's usually the opening line. I mean, because most people, they're thinking a black girl's coming on stage. So it's like, oh, sorry.
It's so funny because I actually, folks out there, actually, she and I are doing some other projects together. And I actually went to meet with her and I didn't expect a black girl. So it was kind of like, oh, she's blonde. Because you guys can't see her right now. But you can see her on my website. So, of course, everything. She's on there. And I was like, oh, she's blonde. Okay. And then my mom was like, the name, Borgia. I'm like, oh, they had a show on HBO or something.
Yeah.
That's right. So funny. So you are from Dallas?
I'm originally from Tyler, Texas, actually.
Oh, Tyler.
Yeah, the rose capital. So sorry, Pasadena, that's where all the roses really come from.
I never knew that. Okay, that's funny. Okay.
Yeah, it's about 100 miles east of Dallas, but...
Okay, very good. And so then you came out to California when?
About 2 years ago, December of 2013. So I'm getting there on the dead side.
I know, exactly. It's like, you get out here and you're excited at first, and then you're like, oh, what happened? It's LA. No, we love LA, of course. But it's hard when you're trying to work in LA because you are a comedian, you're a writer, you're a host. And so when you came out here, what is the one thing you find really different from Texas you find here in California, Southern California?
Oh, there's a lot of differences. I mean, the medical marijuana shops, the billboards, things like that. Certainly we don't have that in Texas. But the thing that I find most shocking is drinking laws are more strict here than they are in Texas.
Oh, really?
I would not have expected that. You can't drink on the beach here. You can't go through a drive-through and pick up a drink like you can in Texas. We've got beer barns you drive through, Jackeries to go.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. It's almost encouraged there to drink and drive.
That's so
Here
crazy.
they have checkpoints.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true. You got to make sure you be careful, right? Exactly. So you came out here to live the dream, yes?
Yes, and I am living the dream.
That's right, girl. So now you said, I know your personal story, but for the viewers out there, you joined a hosting academy or something, or what did you join?
Yes. I had always wanted to become a host, really, because I looked up to people like Winnie Williams, Kelly Ripa, Greg Kinnear, Joel McHale, all the talk soup people, Aisha Tyler, I could go on. And that's what I wanted to do, because I'm funny, but I'm not interested in acting because I want to be me. Because who's better than me, right?
Right, hello.
But I didn't really know how to get into that other than acting classes. I mean, all these people were actors. And then one day on Twitter, this woman follows me named Marky Costello. And I'm like, well, who is this? So I'll Google her and, seems legit. She's got lots of followers, is verified. I'm like, who is this person? And she runs a hosting school called Become a Host, of course. And had I ever thought about Googling that would have been the first thing that came up.
I like that, exactly. Well, so it's amazing because, one of the things, because we're going to talk, she'll also be back for our last segment too. We're going to talk more, but I wanted to bring up the fact that you made a choice, a decision to leave Texas and come to California. That's very cool.
Yes, and sometimes I regret it. Like I said, I can't walk around drinking like I can in the stockyards, but and you certainly want to here.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, the weather is certainly better. You're not having the great floods, and now it's 90 degrees there and humid.
The humidity always kills me. It's like crazy. It's totally crazy. So growing up in Tyler, Texas, I want to talk to you about kind of briefly. So what kind of house did your parents kind of keep?
Well, I had a single mom, and it was just me, my mom, and my brother growing up.
Okay.
And we usually lived in an apartment.
Okay.
We didn't have a lot of money. My mom didn't have an education or anything, but she still had a decent job.
Okay,
but
cool.
Yeah, my brother and I shared a room a lot of our lives. So
you guys must be close.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very close. Yeah, we're really close.
Yeah, really close. We're from East Texas.
Yeah, he's like, but I love it. So your house. So were you guys given chores growing up or anything kind of like that, or just kind of?
Honestly, we were horrible kids. My mom did everything, and now we feel so bad thinking about it.
You're the bomb, Mom. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, she worked 40 hours a week and cleaned up after both of us.
Wow. So now coming from that in your life today in Los Angeles, how do you keep house?
I pay somebody to do it.
Yay for the industry.
Well, yeah, the great thing about living in Southern California, where all these apps get started, is they have all these new Uber for home cleaning apps, like Handy and HomeJoy and stuff. And they'll always run these specials. And every time a new one comes up where you can get a $20 house cleaning, I do it. Well, obviously, in between those times, I still have to organize and clean myself, which I do not enjoy. I hope to live the dream and hire a maid.
I like it. It's a great tagline, isn't it, for everybody? Now, here's what's funny, because you bring up something that I never heard of before, because I know a lot of organizers, and actually I'm part of the Professional Organizers think tank on Facebook page, and someone brought up about cleaning and adding that in your service. I have a lot of clients who are like, I can't find a good cleaner. So through some of those apps that you mentioned. You said Handy. What were the apps again? So a couple ones.
There's Handy and there's HomeJoy.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure there's others. I mean, just like, Uber spawned Lyft and all that, these will spawn more.
Right.
But yeah, I was not impressed with Handy.
Okay.
But yeah, HomeJoy, I had a great woman come clean my house. I even gave her some bottles of wine to take home.
Oh, wow, okay.
I was really impressed with her.
Okay, HomeJoy. I actually want to look that up and report to you listeners more about that. That's cool because I didn't know that. So you have people coming in. That's great. So how do you now with the other part of Good Smart Organization, of course? How else are you doing with the comedy, the writing, your Sports Without the Ball show? How are you finding ways to do time management with that?
Well, unfortunately, the summer is the busy time for the job, which I do for money, not passion,
right.
which I'm a brand ambassador / promotional model / trade show hostess. There are so many names, but basically I get paid to talk about products.
Yes, exactly.
So the summer is usually busy here in LA, so I've been working like 40, 60 hours a week, to make the money for when the fall I can travel.
Got it.
But I have found time every Wednesday. I try to set aside, this is my day off. This is the day I write and film my show.
Got it.
All in one day.
Got it. See, folks, I think out there what's really important is that we all have busy lives. We all have things going on. But if you want to find the time, you can find it, right? Mm-hmm. You can pay. I mean, there's 24 hours in a day. So I mean, right? So you can. I mean, whether it's 2 a.m. or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's that you can usually carve out the time. That's what it sounds like you're doing. You're carving out the time. If you haven't seen her Sports Out the Balls, I just love that name. Web series. It's on her YouTube channel, which is Lacretia Lyon. You can find her. And I will post it also on all my web stuff, so you can find it because it's really, really it's funny, and I think it's hilarious. But for me, the most important thing is that you actually are finding time to do, which is your passion, in the middle of your having to work.
Yeah.
To pay for your passion, I guess, right?
Exactly. Hopefully your work turns into your passion.
Right.
But yeah, now you have to work, to pay for the time to do it. And unless you go fund me on Sports Without the Balls on YouTube.
There you go. Little plug.
There is a donate section.
Yes, the little plug, kids, little plug. No, but that's cool. But no, it's funny because I'm back to like the time management thing. So usually that Wednesday you'll sit down and you're like, okay, let me write the jokes out. Because I think we were talking before we actually came on. There was so much news recently that you get a little overwhelmed sometimes because you have an embarrassment of news.
Yes, actually this week, as most of you know, Bruce Jenner has finished her transition into Caitlyn. And being that the show is called Sports Without the Balls, this Wednesday I was just overloaded with so many ball jokes that I've decided to create a special episode that will be released on Sunday dedicated to Caitlyn and her transition.
It's on Sunday. That's exciting. So exciting. Yeah, so it's great. So now with your room growing up, I wanted to ask you just kind of how did you, because you guys shared a room, did you get like your own wall? How did you guys organize that?
Well, luckily in the apartment we lived in for most of our childhood, it was a pretty big room, so we each had our side and our own walls. The funny thing is I had a Fight Club poster in my room, and I actually still own that poster. It lasted because we moved a lot being in apartments.
Right.
So yeah, I was sure I was the only 12-year-old girl with Ed Norton on her wall because even when 25th Hour came out, the Spike Lee movie, I put one there. I loved him when other girls were like all about the Backstreet Boys.
Who were they? I'm sorry. No, yeah. That's so funny. Oh my God. So but in some way, a Fight Club poster, a guy could put it up too, right?
Oh yeah.
So it fit in his room. Wasn't like the
it
Spice
wasn't
Girls.
like I had a bunch of girls. Yeah, although we did go see the Spice Girls. He'll never admit that was our first concert.
Lucretia's brother, Spice Girls. That's so funny. Actually, I saw them too. I saw the reunion tour when it came back. I didn't see them the first time around. That's like kind of scary. That's so funny. So yeah, I grew up the same way. Kind of. We had my brother and I shared. We had different walls for our stuff. And I'm a little older, so my posters were like Prince, Wham, things like that. I mean, like I had some Janet Jackson, things like that. Kind of Eurythmics, so you can kind of tell what time period that was. Kind of crazy. So, but anyway, okay. Well, Lacretia, you'll be back in our last segments, And so right now, coming up, we will have Elizabeth Greer Taylor coming on. I think she's already here on the line. Very excited. Super Organized Universe Radio.
Hey, this is Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers for RAD. I'm here to remind you that drunk drivers are still a major killer of young adults in this country. So always choose a designated driver, and remember, music lives, you should too.
Getting born in the state of Mississippi. Papa was a copper and mama was a hippie.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
That was audio of Brian's actual car crash.
My car was totaled.
You should have gone to Victory Auto Body and Paint, Brian. These guys are fantastic. They work with all the major insurance carriers for the best possible prices. I've personally used them several times, and they do excellent work. Check them out on the web at victoryautobody.com. That's victoryautobody.com. Give my friend Armani a call at 818-842-7789, 818-842-7789, victoryautobody.com.
What up, cool world? I'm Zion.
And I'm Leland from the band Blue Noise.
To discover new artists, musicians, and more, listen to In Transit Radio Live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. on Adrenaline Radio.
And InTransitRadioLA.com.
Support local talent.
Artists. Oh, talent.
That too.
Shoot.
Do you love leather? Do you own a piece of fine leather furniture? Do you love the way it feels when you sit in it? Do you want to keep it that way? Because my name is Chris Lawler, and I own Leather Care Services. I'm in the business of restoring and maintaining leather furniture so that you love it as much in 10 years as you did the day that you bought it. Call me at area code 562-693-7676. Remember, Leather Care Services, saving cows one hide at a time.
While cutting molding with a 12-inch dual compound miter saw, while holding a newborn baby in your arms, when face-to-face with a congregation of alligators, with the ball in your hands and the entire freaking season on the line.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting, so why would you do it while driving? NASCAR driver Casey Kane here, asking you to please stop the text, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Get the message at stoptextstopwrecks.org.
All right, we are back. Super Organized Universe Radio. I'm James Lott Jr., Super Organizer. My next guest, I just love her name because it's associated with someone who's actually also was famous. She is the president and founder and organizer of Taylor Organizing, and she is from North Carolina. It is Elizabeth Greer Taylor. Elizabeth?
Hello.
Hi, you're on the air.
Hi.
You're on the air.
I'm sorry?
You're on the air. Can you hear me?
Oh, hey, cool.
No, we're having a private conversation. We're just going to hang out together and just talk. No.
Okay.
How are you?
Good.
Welcome to Super Organizer Universe Radio. I'm glad to have you on.
Thank you. Really exciting.
Now, first I want to thank you for all your supports, you and the other organizers out there who have been just right behind me since I made the announcement.
Well, you know what? I mean, to put organizing out there on the radio is really awesome. I mean, we, as a community, we think it's amazing. So good for you.
Thank you. I'm going to represent you guys as well as I can.
I'm sure you'll do great.
I'm going to do my best. Now, before we even begin to talk about anything else, your name. we got to go there first. You're Liz Taylor.
Yes, I am. Not famous, not rich, but I have the name.
Now you're going to be rich and famous now because you're on here. That's what's going to happen.
You're not paying me for this.
I know. But I'm saying the other opportunities that will come through because of this, right?
One would hope. That is the plan, right?
Everyone go to TaylorOrganizing.com. Get her. Okay, so, so Liz Taylor, so in the beginning when you were naming your business, did you ever consider doing Liz Taylor Organizing or Elizabeth Taylor Organizing?
No. It's funny enough being tailor organizing. I think most people get the joke without me being so in their face about it.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I kind of like that. That makes sense. I actually wrote down a couple of specific questions I wanted to ask you I thought were very interesting. Then I wanted to kind of get more. First of all, you're associated with the Institute of Challenging Disorganization.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I just joined.
Yes, and I actually read a couple of their books that they put out, and I'm just fascinated. Can you tell me a little more about your association with them?
Well, I found through working with a lot of my clients that I really wanted to serve them better.
Mm-hmm.
So when I looked around at where I could get the answers from, I found their classes to be awesome. I mean, people are so fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And when you work with people with clutter disorders, they're endlessly fascinating to me. And how to work with them I thought it was so much fun. And then I saw their classes, and I was like, oh, answers to all of the questions I had and all of the tools that I needed to work with the kind of people that I wanted to work with. So I joined.
Yeah, I want to go to their conference because it looks really, really interesting. I couldn't go last year because I had a scheduling conflict.
Yeah, it's in September in Ohio, I think, right?
Yeah, and I have family in Ohio. They're like, come to Ohio. I'm like, I'm going to a conference.
Yeah. Ohio's not my first choice, but it could be a fun place to go.
You don't like Bob Evans breakfast or, I don't know, what else is back there? I forgot. Steak and Shake? None of those? No?
No, they have those everywhere.
I guess so. No, I guess so. But I think it's really cool. I totally want to do that, of course. And now how has it impacted your current clients since you started taking classes?
I just feel like I have a lot more confidence when I'm dealing with my current clients and when I'm speaking with them. I feel like I'm saying and doing the things that help them along in their clutter issues. One of my big fears is always, especially when I was, very, very new, that I would say something or do something that would be to my client's detriment. And now I feel much more confident in my skills and abilities, and I know that I can really coach my clients a lot better than I was, even just before I joined maybe a year ago. So I feel like that confidence helps them.
Well, I love the fact that you decided to do some continuing education, because that's the same with me when I became a life coach. It was like the learning never ends, right? And in our business, it's good to add more skill sets to your business to better serve your clients.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's just endless stories about everybody. So you might as well learn about everybody.
I agree.
People are fascinating.
No, I'm with you. I completely agree with that always. Now, what's funny is I saw you did a thing where you could win a 30-minute phone question and answer session last year. How did that go?
How did that go?
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm not sure I remember.
Oh, how funny! I was very interested. I saw it on your thing, and I was like, "That's very." I mean, I'm thinking about myself, like that's an interesting giveaway. And I guess in the bigger scheme, then how so someone can call in, I guess, and talk to you and ask you any kind of questions about organizing. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, I let pretty much everybody that calls me about organizing. I talk to them for about 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
I don't feel like everything in organizing needs to be paid for. There are ideas and advice that, I can just give to people over the phone.
I agree.
And if that's all they need, then that's fine.
I agree.
If they don't need me for a 3 or 4 hour session, then we can just chat over the phone for a few minutes, and I'm good with that.
Have you ever heard of virtual organizing?
I have. I don't specifically do it.
Yeah, me neither.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I wasn't sure. And did you go to the conference, the NAPO conference?
The what conference? The NAPO conference?
Yeah.
Or is it out in California? I'm an East Coast girl. It's kind of far.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of hard because you're in North Carolina, aren't you?
Yeah.
And
they're having it in Atlanta this year, so I'm pretty sure I'll be going to the next one.
Oh, yeah, right near you. No, North Carolina is beautiful. I've been there several times, and I just think it's so green, which, in California we're kind of lacking right now.
Well, yeah, you guys have a major drought.
Yeah.
Here, it's been raining for 3 days. I feel like I live in Seattle.
Oh, my God. Oh, I wish I missed the green. I love it. So now with you, who are your clients?
My clients are basically almost anyone. Most of my clients give me a call, and we chat over the phone just to see if it's a good fit and if I can help them and if we get along. Mm-hmm. I get a lot of women. I think a lot of women are more comfortable coming to an organizer if they have clutter issues.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, I would say 30s and up.
Mm-hmm.
And I do work a lot with seniors, so I get a lot of women in their 60s or couples in their 60s who are looking at moving.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Or, I've done a lot of sessions with people who are moving or downsizing, and I would say that would probably be about 50% of my business.
Oh, wow.
People who are moving and downsizing.
So you do a lot of moving and downsizing. Oh, that's great. Okay. Wow.
Well, I've done a lot of it myself, so I have a lot of tips.
Yeah, I see. Because your story is interesting, too. You've lived in 6 states?
Yeah, maybe more. I
Wow.
lose track sometimes.
Well, I mean, can you name some of the states? I mean, it's kind of funny. Where have you lived?
I lived in New York.
Okay.
We lived in Illinois, Pennsylvania, Florida,
Wow.
Virginia, and North Carolina.
Okay, wow. So yes, you have experience in moving and downsizing and packing up and everything. So you must have a really amazing system.
I just give myself a lot of time. Really, it's about lots of paper, good boxes, and plenty of time.
Ooh, I like that. Those are 3. Can you say those 3 things one more time for my listeners who aren't organizers, who just have no clue? Say it one more time.
Lots of paper, good boxes, and plenty of time.
I like that. I do. I like that. I like that a lot. That's very true. I've moved a lot just within a state. Or within a city. I mean, I really moved, but it's still very true. So you have 2 school-age children?
Yeah, I have a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Wow. So how do you manage I was talking about time management with my earlier guest, Lacretia. How do you manage running a business, organizing, and school-age children probably, I'm sure, have busy schedules?
Well, I do most of my sessions either while they're at school or when my husband gets home. So I have him, and I have a really awesome next-door neighbor who has 3 kids of the same ages.
Oh, okay.
So we call it our cul-de-sac commune, where we either take each other's kids to school or pick each other's kids up. So sometimes I don't have to be there to pick them up. She does, and when she's working, I do the same thing for her. So, really my neighbor helps me be able to work. You
are so fortunate. I mean, it really does take a village.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't do it without her.
And how long have you been doing organizing?
I've been in business for 3 years. I've been planning my business I planned it for about 3 years before that, and then when I moved here, I decided to start it. So.
And how did you come to organizing?
I don't know how it was like any one singular idea. It was like 6 years ago. I had a friend who was doing it, and I thought, gosh, it's such a fascinating career. And so I started researching it on my own. And then when I moved here, I just said, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to start a business. I didn't know anybody, so there were no friends and family for me to start with.
Wow.
I figured I've moved enough, I could help people move.
Wow. That's so smart.
Maybe a little arrogance on my part.
No, it's so smart. I love that, though. You took something that and you made it into a business, so to speak. Kind of. You're like, I know how to move, I know how to pack. I'm going to make this I'm going to start out that way.
Yeah, that was basically it. I started out, and I took classes in NAPO. I mean, when I said I took 3 years to sort of research it and start it, I read some books, I took classes in NAPO, I joined NAPO even before I opened my shingle and put on my website and all of that. So I would make sure that, I really wanted to actually do it.
Wow. And do you have a book specifically that it's kind of your go-to book that you liked?
I have it upstairs. It was a book I got at Barnes & Noble. It was just like, I can't even remember the name of it, but I read it like 5 times a couple of years ago. But since then, it's really been NAPO and ICD where I've gotten all of my information and classes from. Right. And, of course, some of the websites that we both belong to.
Yes, exactly, which is also a wealth of knowledge, too. I mean, I learn stuff all the time.
Oh, some of the organizers are just geniuses.
Oh, they are. No, they are. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. So I like to ask my guests 2 questions, and so you'll be the first one I'm going to ask this to you. One is, because I believe words are powerful, so they can stop you, or they can lift you up, or motivate you. What word in the English language do you think should be eliminated from our vocabulary?
Eliminated from our vocabulary?
Yep.
I have 2 words, and this really just, for me, applies to my clients.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's a lot of this in the world of chronic disorganization: shame and fear.
I like that.
So a lot of my clients are terrified that someone's going to find out how they live. They're very shameful.
Yeah.
And I think that they bring that shame and fear outside their home. It affects the way they socialize with their friends, their neighbors, their kids socialize, their spouses, their family. And I think that if they didn't feel so much shame and fear, if they said, you know what, I always tell my clients, everyone's got their shtick.
Yeah.
This is just yours.
Wow.
Don't be scared of it. It's just what you have. Everybody's got problems.
I like that.
So
very good. And what is the word you think we should add into our vocabulary?
I think the word we should add is just calm.
Ooh, like that.
Calm down.
That could be for everybody. Just calm down. I like that. I do. I like that a lot. That's very good. Very cool. So, well, we're coming up close to the end of our segment. And, Elizabeth, I want you to come back on.
Oh, thank you.
I'd love to have you back. And I want to do a longer one. I want to talk about some more stuff with you. So will you like to come back?
I've got lots to talk about. I'm a big talker.
And that's why I love it. And that's why you'll be back. I want you to come back. So thank you so much, Elizabeth Greer Taylor. Go to taylororganizing.com and also come to my Facebook pages, and you'll see I'll be posting stuff of hers on there too. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Elizabeth.
Well, thank you for having me. This was fun.
My pleasure, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Good luck with your show.
Thank you.
Bye.
And we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Edward James Olmos. I'm here to talk to you about RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. Think about it. You have choices that you can make in your life. Good choices and bad ones. Drinking and driving, bad choice. Why? The life you may take may even be your own. Think about it. Drinking and driving doesn't mix. Get a designated driver.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. I mean, okay, something as simple as walking around the block. He's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm just taking him around. I think he's afraid of getting lost. Without that leash and me guiding him along, I don't think he'd find his way back home. But it's kind of cute.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Hello, we are back to Organizer Universe Radio. I'm James Lott Jr., super organizer, and I am with, and well, she's back. Well, she really never left the room. Lacretia Lyon. Hey, girl. Hi. She's still here. So I want to thank Elizabeth Greer Taylor. I'm gonna have her back on. She is so good. So we're gonna have some good stuff there. Thank you so much. So Lacretia, I'm gonna do a little segment I'm gonna do with you called Word Association. It's something I was thinking about the other day. I did this actually with a client. Actually as an exercise, and it was really serious. But yours can be serious, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to say some words to you, and you tell me what comes to mind. Multitasking.
Mom.
Like that. Coffee.
I need it.
It's like this. Your car.
My house.
I just want to stop right there for a second. It's so funny. I did a couple of blogs on car organization, and they were very popular here in L.A. That particular blog, I get like these analytics that tell you kind of what area of the world's like reading your stuff, and it was like males, females, but like Los Angeles County. It was like really crazy. I wonder why. What do you think that is? We live in our cars here?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I work with a lot of marketing where I have to keep products or sample wine and stuff like that. So I have to keep a lot of stuff in my trunk, and I try to keep it pretty organized just because, you don't want to be digging in your parking lot. But you just get so much. Like, I have these displays all in my back seat now, driving me crazy.
Oh, that's so funny, display. I love that. So funny. Yeah, so that was a very popular blog. And you can read those blogs on superorganizeruniverse.com. Plugs everywhere. Okay, back to the association. Shoes.
Don't need them.
Oh.
I'm not a shoe person.
Not a shoe gal. Okay.
I am wearing Birkenstocks, since you people can't see it here. I'm not a high heel girl.
Oh, that's so funny. I love it. Now, that's for me as a rarity, especially because I love shoes. I mean, not even a gender thing. I love shoes so much. I have to stop myself. Weekends.
What are those?
Exactly. I lost those too. Dang it. Comedy.
my life.
Right. One of the things I'm going to stop here for a second too. One of the things I find, and maybe you find this too, is that laughter sometimes is the best medicine, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, honestly, I think most people take themselves way too seriously. I mean, obviously there's a time to be serious, but even then, I remember when my grandfather died and my brother made a joke and it made everyone feel better. I mean,
definitely.
You know, and that's why, you know, people start joking about things that are, you know, I know that a lot of people have issues with rape jokes, but it's like, you know, yes, it's a serious thing. But if we try to make everything light, it certainly would make a lot of people happier.
Right. There are topics. I know everybody has their own personal things, of course, and so we enjoy it. But yeah, laughter, I think, sometimes, and sometimes out of tragedy, sometimes actually really does help. And helps you kind of heal. Because that's the whole point, right? Healing is the most important thing from anything that we go through. Sports.
Without the balls.
There you go. I love it. And the last three are hope.
Hope. Honestly, as someone who has a lot of hope, obviously I wouldn't move out of here, but hope can also have a negative connotation. And that's something that when you learn a lot about Greek myths and stuff, I minored in philosophy in college, I did not realize how negative it can really be.
Wow, yeah. How funny. And your cell phone.
My life again.
Yeah. I know it's mine too. I mean, it's funny how cell phones have become like computers.
Yeah, if it dies on me, like I'm in full panic mode. I'm like, no, I can't get a car, I can't get a food, I can't do this.
Right, that's crazy. And then the last one is organization.
Organization, something I need more of.
Which means everyone. I'm sure you all need more of that, of course. It's so funny. I just want to tell people out there that for the first couple months of the show, what we're doing is showcasing a lot of different people on here. And many of them may seem like kind of short, but I hope to bring them all back on later for longer segments. But I want to kind of show people that there's a very diverse crowd out there, people who do organizing or people who require organization or time management. And I want to show it all to you. And basically that's where the Super Organizer universe comes from. I'm showing you my universe. And so, but also you go to my pages, my Facebook page, Super Organizer, my Twitter page is Super O, and my blog, superorganizeruniverse.com, where I will actually post my guest information on there so you can actually either talk to them or see their stuff and also to continue some of the discussions we have on here on those places. So it keeps kind of going to the next time. So feel free to send me questions and things you want to know more of, and I will, and hopefully at some point I'll have more specific topics and we'll kind of delve into, and so that's why I'm so glad you came today, because I wanted to show people that comedy is really a good tool in organizing too. It's a good tool to laugh at in management, like you said. Earlier about you couldn't do it, you had to set aside time, you couldn't do it this week. You kind of have to laugh it off and not be hard on yourself.
Exactly. Life's a joke.
Sometimes it is, yes. It is. It's very true. So, and I always want people out there not to feel bad about their state, whatever state you are in terms of organization or disorganization, right? Because it's whatever it is, as long as you're open for help and an assistance. And there's many organizers out there who are there for you. Just look them up, Google them, look them up. Like I said, go to my page, and they will be there happy to assist you find the path of success to your life. Also, I wanted to do a couple of motivational quotes that I found. I like quotes. I like funny quotes. I'm sure you too, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a quote that kind of gets you through? That, of course, is for a daytime audience. A quote that's that you kind of go to?
Honestly, one of my heroes is surprisingly Anthony Bourdain. I know he's a chef, but he's mostly a TV host now.
Okay.
But I love him, and I read this quote from him the other day that was, "Your body's not a temple, it's an amusement park. Have fun."
Oh, I like that. I do like that. That's so funny. That temple. Of course, food and everything, right? That's so funny.
We're foodies, and, well, we drink too, so.
Yes, of course. But I like that. Yeah, quotes are funny. And so I have a couple that I like, and I'm going to try to see if I could read who said them. A couple of them I don't know who said them, but I just found them, and I just kind of like them. One is, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. It's my name, Eric Thomas. And I think... that is kind of true. However successful you want to be, yes, it's really up to you. Then you'll be successful, right?
Yeah.
Just keep going. Like you said, just keep going. And here's one I like because you're actually, it's part of you too. the best way to predict the future is to create it. You came out here and said, I want to be a host.
Yeah.
And you're out here and you're actually doing, you're doing stuff, work, and you actually are host of a web series, Sports About the Balls.
Yes.
And hopefully, and we're working, and like I said, she and I are working on some projects together, so hopefully you'll see her hosting more. We're working on one right now. It's going to be really good. Another one I like is do it now. Sometimes later becomes never. Isn't that true?
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's the story of your life too, because you said, "I'm gonna do it now. I'm going to California." Yeah. So was it like that easy of a thought process for you, or was it like I've been thinking about it for years and then you did it?
Honestly, I always either wanted to go to a bigger city like New York or LA or something and, really pursue something, but I just didn't, see myself in that point until a few months before I moved. I mean, it was just like my lease was coming up. I, wasn't in a relationship at the time. I mean, I love my family and they're there, right. But it was just like a spur of the moment thing. Like, hey, you know what? Now's the time I need to do it.
Right.
And so exactly. I, saved up a bunch of money, didn't renew my lease and moved out here.
If not now, when?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. I talked to a few people that had done it, and they're like, yeah, you know what? We came back, but doesn't mean you will.
Right, no, exactly.
Do it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, right, exactly. It's like, just try it, and why not?
Yeah.
And that goes in all areas of life. Just try it. It's kind of like Elizabeth was saying about the fear and the shame. Like, forget all that stuff. Fear is just fear. It has no place in your life. It's like you can have a little bit of fear, of course, because, whatever. Maybe you use it to motivate you to do it. Because she did it. I did it. We're all doing it. So, and now the two questions don't ask you that I asked Elizabeth, of course. I asked my guests.
Oh, goody.
Here we go. So what word in the English language do you think should be eliminated from our vocabulary?
Well, I don't use this in my vocabulary, but I know there's been a lot of discussion lately with Tom Hanks' son wanting to use it, but definitely the N-word. I mean, I'm sorry. Why do we use that in any time today? Unless you were showcasing a movie about, a certain time period. I mean, it's not relevant in 2015. Nope. Sorry.
I agree. And what word do you think we should add to our vocabulary?
Well, cluster frack. I think I'm allowed to say frack.
Yeah, frack is good. Frack's good. Frack's good, Brian. Is frack good?
I know that's a word I use in the other connotation all the time, and it's starting to become more and more popular. But it's the best way to describe disorganization. So I thought that would be, great for your show.
Other organizers out there, I have definitely gone into some homes and wow, what the, yes.
Yeah.
I get it. I totally get it. Lacretia, thank you for coming on. You're my first guest. Where can people find you?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Lacretia Lyon, and that's LACRETIALYON. Sorry about that. And then my YouTube channel is Sports Without the Balls. Please subscribe.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. I'll have you back. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I'm on all social media, of course. But the ones you want to really find me at are the Super O, which is on Twitter. And I post things all the time, so please follow me. And on Facebook, I think it's /. People can correct me later if that's not right. The Super Organizer. And like I said, more things about this show will be posted on that Facebook page. And also I have my website, thesuperorganizer.com, which was the father of all things that I started, of all media. And that actually has my rates, my services, things that I do on there. And then, of course, my blog, which inspired this radio show, thesuperorganizeruniverse.com, where I do a blog every day. I just celebrated my 500th blog. Could not believe that, 500. And I wrote almost all of them. Only a couple were just like repost of something. So I was very proud of that. I'm actually going to write a blog about 500 blogs. So that'll be coming up in the next couple of days. So you can look on that. That's superorganizeruniverse.com. And I offer suggestions, tips, things that I learn. Like I said, I learn all the time. So you can go there for that. And, so I can't believe this is my first show. I am so grateful and so fortunate to have been here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Adrenaline Radio. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Elizabeth, Greer Taylor, and Lacretia Lyon. I'll be back here again. There's no earthquakes. I'll be back next Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Adrenaline Radio. Thank you very much, and talk to you guys later.